Hi everyone, myself Dr. P. Ashok Babu. In this video, I'm going to discuss about the relation between electric field intensity and potential. Then I'm going to discuss about the energy density. First of all, I'll discuss about the relation between electric field intensity E and potential V. So which is also known as a Maxwell's equation. So here, to find out the relation between electric field and potential, you let us assume some electric field. Assume electric field. In electric field, you assume a closed loop. Assume a closed loop. Suppose I want to move let us assume 2 points A and B. I want to move a point charge from point A to point B. So here, to move a point charge, point charge from point A to B, to move a charge from point A to B, here I need to do some work. So here the work done may be in the direction of A to B, or it may be in the direction of B to A, or it may be A to B or B to A. So here, according to the concept of potential, here the potential will not depend upon the path taken, or it is independent of the path taken. So here the potential, already we know that the potential difference between the 2 points A and B is independent of path taken, and hence we can write VBA is equal to minus VAB. So it is because both are in opposite to each other. VAB is equal to minus VBA, or VBA is equal to minus VAB. Or we can express it as VBA plus VAB is equal to 0. VBA plus VAB is equal to 0. And already we know that we have a relation between potential and electric field. We have a relation, we have potential V is equal to, it is electric field E into dl in a closed loop. V is equal to integral of E into dl. We know that V is equal to E into dl. Therefore, here we can express it as V is equal to line integral E into dl, because here the potential V is equal to 0. Therefore, V is equal to line integral E into dl, which is equal to 0. Or in another way, we can write the expression as a line integral E into dl is equal to 0. E into dl equal to 0. It shows that integral or the electric field intensity in a closed loop along a closed path must be 0. The electric field intensity in a closed path is 0. So according to equation 1, we can conclude that the total electric field in a closed loop is equal to 0. So physically, this implies that no network is done in moving a charge along a closed path in an electric field. So because we are starting, because it is a closed loop, let us assume point A here and point B here. So in this closed loop, suppose I want to move a charge from point A to point B. So because of closed loop, point A to point B, because of a closed loop, the total electric field intensity in this closed loop is E is equal to 0 according to the conservative nature of a electric field. So here, let us assume that same equation, line integral E into dl, you apply Stokes theorem to the line integral. So if you apply Stokes theorem to the line integral, Stokes theorem will convert the line integral into surface integral. Therefore, the equation becomes a line integral E into dl is equal to surface integral del cross E into ds is equal to 0. Therefore, we can write the expression as del cross E is equal to 0. So let us assume it is equation 2. So here the equation 1 and equation 2, both the equations, let us assume some vector, a vector field that satisfies the equation 1 and 2 is said to be conservative or irrotational. In other words, a vector whose line integral does not depend upon the path of integration. In other words, a vector or a vectors whose line integral does not depend upon the path of integration are called the conservative vectors. Thus, an electric field is conservative field because the total line integral E into dl is equal to 0. The electric field is known as a conservative field. So it is a conservative field. Next, so here the equations 1 and 2 are known as the Maxwell equation for static electric field. Equation 1 and 2 are known as the Maxwell equations for static field. Here equation 1 is the Maxwell equation in integral form. Equation 2 is the Maxwell equation in differential form. So here both the equations can depict the conservative nature of an electrostatic field. Or equation 1 and 2 can state that both the equations are conservative nature of electrostatic field. So here we have a relation potential. Already we know the relation of potential and electric field. V is equal to, it is minus integral E into dl. So here if you differentiate the equation on both sides, it is dV is equal to differentiation and integration cancel each other. Then we can express the equation as minus E into dl. So here dl is the elemental length. So here dl and electric field intensity can be expressed in a rectangular coordinate system as x, y, z components. Therefore, we can express differential volume dV is equal to, it is minus E into dl, which is equal to minus Ex into dx minus Ey into dy minus Ez into dz. It can be expressed as x component, y component and z component along the rectangular coordinate system. But from the calculus of multi-variables, a total charge in potential V of x, y, z is the sum of partial charges with respect to the x, y, z variables. Therefore, it can be expressed as the total or differential volume dV is equal to, it is dou V by dou x into dx plus dou V by dou y into dy plus dou V by dou z into dz. So it is a sum of the charges. It can be expressed as a sum of the charges. So here if you compare these two equations, then we can express it as dou V by dou x is equal to, minus Ex, or Ex equal to, we can write minus dou V by dou x, Ey is equal to minus dou V by dou y, Ez is equal to minus dou V by dou z. If you compare the two equations, therefore Ex equal to minus dou V by dou x, Ey is equal to minus dou V by dou y, Ez equal to minus dou V by dou z. Therefore, we can express as a total, we can express it as E is equal to minus del V. Or we can decompose the E in three-dimensional coordinate system as x, y, z components. Or we can directly write E is equal to minus del V. So here the electric field intensity is the electric field from the equation. We can conclude that from equation 4, we can conclude that the electric field intensity is the gradient of V. The electric field intensity is the gradient of V. Here the negative sign shows that the direction of electric field intensity is opposite to the direction in which the potential increases. Both are opposite to each other. The negative sign in the equation 4 indicates that both electric field and potential will work in the opposite direction. So this is about the relation between electric field intensity and potential, which is also known as a Maxwell equation for static electric field. Now we will discuss about the energy density in electrostatic fields. Let us assume a point charges Q1, Q2, Q3. So I want to move the point charges Q1, Q2, Q3 from infinity to some space in some other area in a space. Suppose I need to send a point charge Q1. I need to move a point charge Q1 from infinity to point P1. Point P1 in a space. Let us assume in a space, some area. In that area, P1, assume P1, P2, P3. I want to, or we need to move the point charge Q1 from infinity to P1, point charge Q2 from infinity to point P2, point charge Q3 from infinity to P3. So here, let us assume first one, when there are no point charges, here the space is charge free. Because the space is charge free, we no need to do some work in moving a point charge Q1 from infinity to point P1. Because so here before the moving of charge, here the total area is charge free. Because there is no charge, no need to do some work in moving a point charge Q1 from infinity to space point P1. Therefore, so the work done required, here no work is required to transfer Q1 from infinity to P1 because the space is initially charge free and there is no electric field. We know that we have that formula potential V is equal to minus integral E into dl. Or we can define the potential V is equal to this work done per unit charge. V is equal to work done per unit charge. Therefore, the work done can be expressed as the work done is equal to it is V into Q, and it is minus Q into integral E into dl. So this is the expression for work done in moving a point charge from infinity to some space. So because space is a charge free, the work done required in moving a point charge Q1 is equal to 0. Now I want to move a point charge Q2 from infinity to a point P2. So here already it is a charge element in space. There is some charge Q1. So because there is some charge Q1, we need to do some work in moving a point charge Q2 from infinity to point P2. Here the work done required is equal to charge into potential. So here the work done in transferring Q2 from infinity to P2 is equal to the product of charge and potential V21. The product of charge Q2 and potential V21, where potential V21 is the potential at point P2, where potential V21 is the potential at point P2 due to the charge Q1. Charge Q1 is already available in the space, so it influences some charge on a work done. So here, therefore, the work done required in moving a point charge Q2 from infinity to P2 is equal to this Q2 is W2 is equal to the work done. W2 is equal to, we can express it as V21 into Q2, where Q2 is the charge, V21 is the potential required in moving a charge the potential at point P2 due to the charge Q1. Similarly, we need to move the point charge Q3 from infinity to point P3. So here it is equal to, or we need to do some work in moving a point charge Q3 from infinity to point P3 in a space. So already we have point charge Q1 is there, point charge Q2 is there. Therefore, the potential, the work done required is, it is equal to, the work done W is equal to, it is Q3 into V32 plus V31, where V32 is the potential at point 3 or potential at point P3 due to the charge Q2, and V31 is the potential at point P3 due to the point charge Q1. So here the both point charges Q1 and Q2 will influences the work done required. Therefore, the total work done required in moving a point charges Q1, Q2, Q3 from infinity to point P1, P2, P3 is equal to, so this is the total work done. So which is W is equal to W1 plus W2 plus W3. So here W1 is equal to 0, where at W2 and W3 are, it is Q2 into V21 plus Q3 into V31 plus V32. Let us assume it is equation 1. Next, similarly, here we assume the point charges Q1, Q2, Q3. Or we can assume the point charges here, it is Q3, here Q2, here Q1. Then the work done required is different from the previous case. Now, if the charges were positioned in reverse order, that is Q3, Q2, Q1, here the work done required is equal to, it is W3 plus W2 plus W1. So here W3 is the work done required to move a point charge Q3 from infinity to space. So because space is charge free, here the work done required is 0 in moving a point charge Q3 from infinity to point P3. Therefore, the first one is 0. Second one is the work done required to move a point charge Q2 from infinity to P2 is, which is Q2, which is a product of charge and potential, Charge is Q2 and V23, where V23 is the potential at point 2 due to the charge Q3. Next, third one, here we need to do some work done in moving a point charge Q1 from infinity to a point P1 in a space. So which is nothing but already we have a charge Q3 is there and we have charge Q2R there in space. So these two will influence the work done required to move a point charge Q1 from infinity to space. Therefore, the total work done equal to charge Q1 into V12 plus charge Q1 into V13, where V12 and V13 are the V12 is the potential at point P1 due to point charge Q2. V13 is the potential at point P1 due to the point charge Q3. Therefore, if you add the total charges, total work done, the total work done is equal to 2WE is equal to add the equation 1 and equation 2. If we add equation 1 and equation 2, we have the equation Q1 into V12 plus V13 plus Q2 into V21 plus V23 plus Q3 into V31 plus V32. So in a simple manner, we can assume it as 2WE is equal to Q1 into V1, where V1 is equal to V12 plus V13, Q2 into V2, where V2 is equal to V21 plus V23, and V3 is equal to V31 plus V32. Next, and therefore we can assume the total work done required in moving a point charges from infinity to space is equal to, it is half into Q1 into V1 plus Q2 into V2 plus Q3 into V3. So it can be expressed as a summation of charges. So it can be expressed as a summation as, it is W is equal to half into summation of K is equal to 1 to N QK into VK. Let us assume there are some 10 charges. When there are some 10 charges, so it is W is equal to the total work done required to move a point charge, 10 point charges is, it is half into sigma K is equal to 1 to 10, it is QK into VK. So we need to add the all 10 charges, just like half into, it is Q1 V1 plus Q2 V2 Q3 V3 plus so on Q10 into V10. So like this you can find out the work done required in moving a n point charges from infinity to some points in a P1, P2, P3, so on Pn in spaces. So this is about the moving of point charge from infinity to a space. Now we can assume in place of point charge, we can assume a continuous charge distributions like line charge, surface charge and volume charge. So if you assume the continuous charge distributions like surface, line charge, surface charge and volume charge, here the work done required can be expressed as, here the summation will becomes the integration, let us assume some line charge. So when we assume a continuous charge distribution like line charge, here the summation will become the integration. Therefore half into, it is a line integral of, so here in place of point charge, here I am assuming rho L into DL. Rho L into DL, where rho L into DL is a line charge. This is a line charge. Therefore, potential is again potential. And the equation becomes W is equal to half into line integral rho L into V into DL. If you assume the surface charge, so where rho L is the line charge density, rho S is the surface charge density, rho V is the volume charge density. Therefore, for surface charge density, the work done required is W is equal to half into surface integral rho S into V into ds. Similarly, for volume charge, the total work done required is equal to half into volume integral rho V into dv. So this is about the energy required in moving a point charge or in moving a continuous charge distributions from infinity to a space points or infinity to points in a space. We'll see some small example based upon the energy density in electrostatic fields. So let us assume the point charges. The point charges minus 1 nanocoulomb, 4 nanocoulomb and 3 nanocoulombs. So these are located at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 and 1, 0, 0 respectively. So here we need to find out the total energy required to move the point charges. So here already we know the formula to move the work done required to move a point charges are W is equal to W1 plus W2 plus W3. So we know the formula W is equal to, or here we can do the problem. in a two ways. First one is a direct method. So here we have the formula. The work done required in moving a point charge Q1 from infinity to space is 0. Second one is the work done required to move a point charge Q2 from infinity to a point P1, point P2 is, it is Q2 into V21, where V21 is the potential at point 2 due to the point charge Q1. Similarly, third one. So it is the potential required, the work done required to move a point charge Q3 from infinity to a point P3 in a space. So which is Q3 into V31 plus V32. So if you directly substitute the expressions in this equation, here we have the total work done required is equal to, so Q2 into where V21 is the potential at point 2 due to the Q1. Therefore, this Q1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into, we have the equation potential, we have the equation of potential as V is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into R1 minus R2, or R2 minus R1, modulus of R2 minus R1, where modulus of R2 minus R1 is the distance vector. Modulus of R2 minus R1 is the distance vector. So based upon that potential formula, so here it is the potential at point P2 due to Q1 is Q1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into, it is R2 minus R1, where R2 is 0, 0, 1 minus R1 is 0, 0, 0 plus second one. So it is Q3 by 4 pi epsilon naught, Q3 by 4 pi epsilon naught, and V31 is the potential, where V31 is the potential at point 3 due to the charge Q1. Therefore, it is Q1 by R3 minus R1, R3 minus R1, where R3 is 1, 0, 0 minus R1 is 0, 0, 0 plus V32 is the potential at point 3 due to the charge Q2. Therefore, Q2 by 1, V3 minus R3 minus R2, R3 minus R2, where R3 is 1, 0, 0 minus R2 is 0, 0, 1. And if you find out the distances, so here first distance is R, here it is 0, 0, 1 minus 0, 0, 0. Therefore, the distance is 1. So here also the distance is 1. Here the distance is root 2. Therefore, the equation can be simplified as, in all the three terms, we have 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is a common term. Therefore, we can take 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught outside, keep outside. We can take a common into Q1, Q2. First one. In first term, we have Q1 and Q2. In second term, we have Q1 and Q3. In the third term, we have Q2 and Q3. So here, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1, Q2 plus Q1, Q3 plus Q2, Q3 by the distance is root 2. So here, if you substitute the Q1, Q2, Q3 values in the equation, we can find out the total energy required to transfer a point charges P1, P2, P3 from infinity to space. So here Q1, Q2, Q3 are Q1 equal to minus 1 nanocoulomb, Q2 is equal to 4 nanocoulombs, Q3 is equal to 3 nanocoulombs. If you substitute in the equation, then the total answer is, the total work done required in moving a point charges is, so it is 13.37 nanojoules. 13.37 nanojoules. So in another way also we can find out the total energy required. So for that we need to use the summation equation. So here the total energy required in moving a point charges is, we have W is equal to this half into Q1 V1 plus Q2 V2 plus Q3 V3, where V1 we have V1 equal to, you can see the back equation, where V1 is equal to V12 plus V13. V12 is equal to V1 is equal to V12 plus V13. V2 is equal to V21 plus V23. V3 is equal to V31 plus V32. So these are the potentials. We need to substitute V1, V2, V3 in that equation. So where V1 is equal to V12 plus V13, where V12 is the potential at point P1 due to the point charge Q2. V13 is the potential at point Q1, point P1 due to the point charge Q3. Like that, we need to substitute all the values. And therefore, here in first one, it is Q1 by Q2 into Q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught into the distance vector plus Q3 by 4 pi epsilon naught into the distance vector. Like that, we need to substitute the three vectors v1, v2, v3. Therefore, if you simplify the equation, then also we have the same value. It is 13.37 nanojoules. The work done required to move a point charges Q1, Q2, Q3 from infinity to space it is 13.37 nanojoules. So this is about the relation between electric field intensity and potential, or which is also known as the Maxwell equation for static field, and the energy density or the energy required in electrostatic field to move point charges from infinity to space. Based upon that, we have some problem. So, okay, thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.